Hey guys, welcome back to Finn Scales and Fluffy Tails. I know, it's been a while again, but today I'm coming at you with a video about how to leave your pets with a pet sitter, and if you have a rabbit, what to expect when you get back from a trip. Alex and I just got back from our honeymoon literally last night. We did our honeymoon in Branson, Missouri, and it was awesome. So probably at the end of this video, I'll insert like a few pictures of some of the stuff we saw from at Branson, and it was really cool. We had a great time. So stick around for the end of the video if you want to see like a couple of pictures of some stuff we did. So this video is going to be about how to leave your pets with a pet sitter for like a longer period of time. We actually had a few pet sitters come to our house while we were away. The first one was our next door neighbor. She came every day to check on Daisy and feed her and give her water. And then we had two of our other neighbors come over and feed the rest of our pets. They didn't come every day, they came about every other day to feed them, which is basically what they need. Our other pets don't need to be fed every day, and our next door neighbor was not comfortable with feeding live food, and like you guys probably know, most of our animals take live food when they eat. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you guys what I do to get them ready. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you have a pet sitter come is you want to leave notes. Now, I'm not going to zoom in on the notes because they have their names on them and stuff, but I left two notes, one for each of the pet sitters. So I left one for our next door neighbor and one for our other two neighbors that came over. And in these notes, it had like the days they were supposed to come over and feed, what they were supposed to do. Our next door neighbor was also taking care of my bonsai tree outside, so she had to water it almost every day. And then here on the table we have bags. Now these baggies are for measured out food. So while we were gone, the crickets, our hamster Sven, and the betta fish all had to be fed, and I pre-measured out their food and left it here. And that's what I do pretty much every time they leave. Usually the 10-gallon tank doesn't get fed while we're gone because we're usually not gone for very long, but when we're going to be gone for a whole week, Simba has to be fed. I don't want him to go a whole week without food. Daisy. Oh yes, here's Daisy. She wants to get through this pen right now, but I really don't want to move it. Daisy, you're going to have to go around. This is Daisy's area. It is a mess right now because while we were gone, we didn't have our pet sitter clean it. Our next door neighbor I did not want to have her clean Daisy's pen, so that is going to be my job today. Daisy, you're just going to have to go around. Oh yeah, her favorite spot in our house is behind this couch. You can see all of her poop back there, and we ended up having to put a cord cover over that cord because she was chewing it something fierce. But she's used to this pathway being open, and she's upset that it's not open right now. Daisy, what are you doing? Why don't you just go around? All she would have to do to get out would be to go around this chair and come out the other side here, but she doesn't want to do that. There's this space right here that she could fit through. Now she can definitely fit through it, but she could fit through it before. All right. I kind of moved, of course. Now that I moved this pen, she just leaves. So I'm putting it back. So anyway, back to what I was saying. You should, for the animals that you can measure out their food, you should, because this eliminates any confusion with your pet sitter. So that's what I do for the betta food, the hamster food, and the crickets food. The crickets food is refrigerated, but they brought the bags out here and fed them. And so yeah, so that's the first thing I do. Then I put specific directions on, like I print it out and I tape it to each enclosure. So this is the 10-gallon with the shrimp and the betta, and this is what I do. So this says 10-gallon betta feed on August 2nd, August 4th, and August 6th. Food is measured into individual bags. Add one bag per visit. Add the food one pinch at a time so it sinks slowly. So that was the directions I left for this tank, and I did that for all of them. So this is Pascal's tank. I left specific directions for her as well. Her tank's probably gonna need filled soon. So that's another thing I'll have to do. Filling tanks and cleaning Daisy's area is usually what I have to do when we get back. And then for Gimli's enclosure, I did the same thing. Here's his directions. And then I also did one for the crickets here so that they would know what to do. Then we have Sven's tank. And there's Sven's directions. Most of them are pretty simple because our pets have simple directions. And then over here, our last pet, this is Pixel. And I'm pretty sure Pixel is a girl now. Let me see if I can get a good shot of her. I think she recently molted. And, well, whoops. I think she's a girl. But she recently molted. This is her. And this is like her little corner. I got this really cool fairy thing at a Renaissance fair in our area, so that was really cool. But this is Pixel's corner, and these are her directions, which I taped right here. And you can still see how small Pixel is. That's the size of her enclosure. And then I can go in and kind of... She is definitely bigger than when I got her, but she's still extremely tiny. And okay, so back here is Daisy's crate. Now her crate was open the whole time we were gone because we used 2 X pens to keep her in this room. And this time we did something a little different. Because we were going to be gone so long, we left a path for one of our other pet sitters, because we have a pet sitter that comes to our house that has a phobia of rabbits. Which I know that's kind of weird that they still agreed to watch her, but since they have a phobia of rabbits, they didn't like her trying to come up to them, so we left a path. But we still needed them to come over because we have other pets. That pet sitter was okay feeding live food, whereas the pet sitter that takes care of Daisy isn't. But the one that takes care of Daisy lives right next door, so it's way easier for her to come every day. So it's a little bit complicated, but hey, you do what you need to do for your animals. So this is Daisy's crate. This is what it looks like after a week of not being touched. We moved her hay bag and her water bowl into her crate last night when we put her to bed. But normally when we leave for a long trip, those things will be at the front right near her food bowl so that the pet sitter can easily reach in and give her hay and food and water without having to climb through her pen. And she did use both of her litter boxes while we were gone. Usually she only uses one, but they are both super dirty. So I will be cleaning those out today and I'll bring you guys along. But don't worry, I'm gonna make it a time-lapse video so you don't have to watch how long it takes me to clean everything. But yeah, so if you have a rabbit and you're leaving them for a while, be prepared to come home to a huge mess. Because rabbits are messy, and if you don't clean up after them for a week, this is what it looks like. Now normally all this hay mess would be in her crate over there, but because her hay bag had to be up here in case she ran out so that the pet sitter could give her more, she pulled it out onto her rug. So that is what we're gonna be doing. So then right now I'm gonna be setting up the camera and then I'm gonna clean so you guys can see what it actually takes, because I don't want some people who think they want a rabbit and like people don't realize how messy they are. Like, look at this. All of that poop. This needs cleaned. They're so messy. If I'm being honest, rabbits are seriously the messiest pet I've ever owned. They're messier than a dog. They really are. I mean, unless you have a huge dog, but as far as hair goes, rabbits shed a lot. So you have all the hair as you would from like a dog, and they poop way more than dogs, and they poop all over your floor. So they're just super messy. In my opinion, if you have a dog and a rabbit that's the same size, the rabbit is messier. 100%. So realize that before you get a rabbit, they're super messy, but if you think you can handle it, just stay tuned and I'll show you what it takes for me to clean her pen. Okay, so now Daisy's pen is completely cleaned up. She has her regular area back. This is what it usually looks like when we're not going away. I have this little tunnel for her and this tunnel over here, and then she has her toys. I ended up having to close her crate just for a second because the door was hitting me when I was trying to clean and hurting me, so I closed it up, but Daisy is not even in there right now. She's hiding behind the couch. So for now, I put her 2 X pens over here, and we have a few chairs back there in the corner, but other than that, this is exactly how her room looks. So now we have the task of tackling her 2 litter boxes and her crate, which I don't mind cleaning her crate usually, but it's the hardest thing to clean because you literally have to get on your hands and knees and clean it. It's the only way to do it. So here we go. Okay, so unfortunately I put the trash can right in front of where the camera was, so you couldn't really see as good, but that's okay. It was kind of boring anyway, but I usually just take the litter box out first, and then all the stuff, and then like all her toys and her things and like her things that are in there, and then her hay bag usually comes out too because it usually ends up getting in the way, and then I sweep out all of her stuff, like all of her hay and poop that she leaves in there. So as you can see, some poop also out of the corner, so I'll have to vacuum that up later or get it with some kind of dustpan or something. And then last but not least, we have these 2 litter boxes right here. So these are both getting cleaned right now. Okay, so this is what Daisy's crate now looks like, completely clean. Her litter box is clean. Everything in here is good to go. This one is staying up here. That ended up getting stained. So the back portion where she usually sits does get stained after a while, so it's not gonna come off literally no matter what you do. I always wipe her litter boxes out with paper towels and antibacterial wipes to clean them. Unless they're super dirty, then I take them upstairs and scrub them in the bathtub. But today they weren't super dirty, so I just wiped them out, and she usually only gets 1. When we're home, like, and not out on a trip, she only gets 1 litter box. Even though we were gone for a week, I was actually surprised that she used both of her litter boxes. Usually she still only uses the one in the back corner of her crate. But, so yeah, this is what it looks like now. That's the trash can, which I will now have to empty since Daisy's poop is all in there, but it was pretty full anyway. So that is how I clean up Daisy's stuff after we get home from a trip. So that's pretty much it. If you guys are going on a long trip and you want to leave your pets with a pet sitter, my biggest piece of advice I could give to anyone is make it as easy as possible for your pet sitter. Leave notes, leave lists, leave the directions for each pet on their enclosure so they cannot forget. Like, send them a text message, but also have it in writing and leave it at your house so that when they get there, if they forget their phone, God forbid, or something else, they still know what to do. Make everything as clear as possible when you have a pet sitter. Chances are they'll usually forget something because, you know, they're humans, nobody's perfect. So because pet sitters are human, they're not perfect, they might forget something anyway, but you still want to make it as clear as possible what needs to be done every time they come, whether that's coming every day or coming every few days. You just have to make everything super clear and come up with the plan ahead of time. If you're hiring an actual pet sitter instead of asking your friends to come, make sure that you meet the person beforehand. At least I try to do that, and show them what to do. If you have exotic animals that they've never taken care of, but they said, like if you're looking on Rover, you can usually find people that are okay with lots of animals instead of just cats and dogs on there. Make sure that you bring them to your house, you talk to them, you show them what to do with each and every animal, because just because they're comfortable doing it doesn't mean they know how to do it. So you need to show them what they need to do. So, and I do that with all of my pet sitters. Now, I will say, I do want to mention that I didn't leave a note about everything that needs done with Daisy, because Sue watches Daisy all the time. She knows what to do. All I do with Daisy is I portion out all of her food for the amount that we're gone, and I also leave one extra bag for Daisy. So just in case we can't make it like back or whatever in time, Sue can feed her again. That's never happened before, but I still like to do that just in case. And because Sue does it so often, she knows what to do. Our other pets, when we leave for a weekend or something, we don't even have somebody come and watch them, because if we're leaving on Friday, we take care of them. And then when we get back on Sunday again, we take care of them. So we usually don't even need someone to come if it's just for a weekend. The only time we hire a pet sitter for the other pets is if we're gonna be gone for like, I wanna say 4 days or longer, because even 3 days, the other pets can be good for 3 days too. So that is what I wanted to tell you guys about pet sitters, because I realized I never made a real video on it, but I mean, you kind of have to take what you can from this video and like adapt it to your own pets. So, because it's kind of hard to make one for like every single pet like ever, because I don't have every single pet, but these are just some general tips that you can use. And also, all that mess that I cleaned up with Daisy, that was just from 1 week. And I know a lot of you are gonna say, well, why would you leave her in that mess? Like, it's messy. And yes, but I made it as easy as possible for my pet sitter. I don't expect our next door neighbor to come over here and clean up after Daisy every single day. That's disgusting. So she has 2 litter boxes to go in, and then I clean everything up when we get back, because if you find somebody who you trust, you want to make it as easy as possible so they're willing to watch your animals like whenever you need them to. So that's my biggest tip. So as far as updates go, we're married now. We just got back from our honeymoon in Branson. I'll probably have to make a separate video talking about the wedding and what we did on our honeymoon and the things that went wrong. I started to go into it in an earlier clip, but I'm gonna have to delete it because it'll just make this video way too long. As far as pet updates, every single one of our pets is doing great. There's not really much to update you because everything has been the same. Now, as far as us getting a puppy, no, I didn't lie about that. We still are getting one. However, I still don't know when the puppy will be coming home. The earliest date I could estimate that we're gonna be bringing a puppy home is October. But I still don't have a date because we're not officially offered a puppy yet. We're on a waiting list with 3 Shih Tzu show breeders. One of them, I asked for an update last month. She won't have a puppy ready to go for us until at the very earliest will be the week before Christmas, which that is really, I would take a puppy, but also a week before Christmas is not a super good time to get any type of pet, just because the puppy would only have a week to bond with us, and then we would have to be packing up and going to visit Alex's family in Ohio. So that would not be super convenient for us, and it would be super hard. So if that happened, we'd probably ask the breeder to hold the puppy till after Christmas was over, because I don't want her to have to travel all that way and only have a week to bond with us. The second breeder I contacted, asking for her for an update, she said that she had 2 litters born in July and 1 was born, I think, this past week. So she has 3 litters right now, but we still haven't been offered a puppy because I'm guessing she's going to evaluate them as they get older for show prospects, and then whatever one she doesn't want to keep to be show dogs will be sold to pet homes. And you can't be, when the puppies are first born, if you're trying to evaluate them for show possibility, they have to be older. You can't tell when they're newborn baby dogs, baby puppies, if they're going to be show quality or not. So she's probably evaluating them, and she'll get back to us in a few weeks most likely. And the third breeder did not get back to me about an update, but I don't really think she's the email type of person because I just emailed everyone. But that's all I can give you guys, which is not a lot to go on. Or in the words of Seamus from Harry Potter, that's nothing to go on. But all I have is that earliest date we'll be getting a puppy is October. But she will be coming home soon. Probably within the next month or 2, I'll be doing puppy hauls, like stuff I'm gonna be buying for her. I had a list of stuff planned like for a couple of years actually of what I wanted to get. So I will be bringing that to you guys when that happens, in a couple of weeks most likely. So okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about how to leave your pets with a pet sitter and me cleaning Daisy's area. So yeah, I guess I will catch you on the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.